Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
A 14-year-old boy has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of an elderly woman who police say was randomly stabbed in broad daylight outside her home in Pickering on Thursday afternoon. The stabbing, which investigators have described as unprovoked, occurred at around 3 p.m. on Thursday on a quiet street in Pickering, east of Toronto. Police told reporters Thursday that the victim was outside her home on Lynn Heights Drive when she approached by a male they believe she did not know. She was rushed to a trauma center for treatment but later died from her injuries. Residents in Pickering were ordered to shelter in place immediately following the deadly attack as police searched for the perpetrator. Community safety concerns also prompted the city of Pickering to shutter its facilities and cancel programs and classes on Thursday evening. After an hours-long search, the alleged perpetrator was located and arrested without incident at 8:30 p.m., police said. The accused, who was charged under the Youth Criminal Justice Act during a brief court appearance on Friday morning, cannot be identified, but investigators say he is also a resident of Pickering. Neighbors of the victim, who say they are shaken by the disturbing incident, described the woman as a friendly retired kindergarten teacher in her 80s. Some said they believe she was out gardening at the time of the attack. One neighbor called the victim a fantastic lady who had lived in the area for decades. During an update on Friday morning, Sergeant Joanne McCabe said police have yet to find anything connecting the victim to the suspect prior to the attack. Sarah Fredericks said shortly before the fatal stabbing, both she and her daughter spotted a strange person walking in the area who was wearing black gloves and trench coat. He stood out, she said. It is not normal at 2:30 or whatever time it was in the afternoon to be dressed like that. Prior to the arrest, police said the suspect was seen wearing a surgical mask, a long black jacket, and was carrying a black bag. McCabe said there were reports that some members of the community did step in to try to help the victim in the immediate aftermath of the incident. To then we say thank you and we appreciate their efforts. The family appreciates their efforts, she said. This is something that is going to impact this community for a very long time.
I actually saw her there, and there was somebody who was trying to give her CPR.
This appears to be a random attack, and we do have no connection between the victim as well as the male that's in custody.
A judge has found a teen girl not guilty of second-degree murder in the fatal swarming attack on a homeless Toronto man, but guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter. Ontario Superior Court Justice Philip Campbell says he wasn't convinced beyond reasonable doubt that the girl had the state of mind required for murder in 2022 attack at the Kenneth Lee. The girl, who was 14 at the time of the attack, had tried to plead guilty to manslaughter at the start of her murder trial, but the Crown rejected that plea. Prosecutors had alleged that the girl was one of who inflicted Lee's fatal wound by stabbing the 59-year-old with a knife or a small pair of scissors during the December 2022 attack. No knife was ever recovered as part of the investigation the trial heard, and defense said the girl didn't have a knife at that point. Security footage of the swarming attack at a downtown Toronto parquet was central to the trial, but the girl's defense lawyer argued it's impossible to tell from the video who stabbed Lee and when. A 30-year-old Ajax man who was arrested earlier this month in connection with the alleged sexual assault and forcible confinement of a 14-year-old facing additional charges related to the second underage girl, police say. The accused was initially taken into custody back on May 2nd. At the time, police said the suspect picked up a 14-year-old girl in Hamilton and drove her to Ajax, where she was confined and sexually assaulted over a period of days. Gauri Shankar Kathir Kamanathan was charged with 15 offenses, including 5 counts of sexual assault. In a news release issued on Friday, police said that subsequent investigation has revealed that the accused was also having a sexual relationship with another 14-year-old girl. Qatar Kamanathan was arrested at residence in Ajax on Thursday and is now facing 6 new charges, including sexual assault and making child pornography. The charges against him have not been tested in court. Police continue to investigate and are urging anyone with the information to contact investigators. 2 men remain in hospital in non-life-threatening condition after a double stabbing in Mississauga on Thursday night. Police say that they were called to Tranmere Drive and Telford Way, which is in the Dixie and Derry Roads area, at around 6:30 p.m. for reports of a disturbance. Investigators say that 2 adult male victims in their early 20s were located at the scene with stabbing wounds following an apparent physical altercation. Both were initially rushed to the hospital in critical condition. However, police told Awaz News on Friday morning that their injuries are now believed to be non-life-threatening. A male in his late 20s has been arrested in connection with the incident and charged with 2 counts of assault with a weapon, police say. Canada's economy grew faster than expected in the first quarter, data showed on Friday, primarily driven by exports as companies in the United States rushed to stockpile goods before President Donald Trump's tariffs were implemented. But an increase in imports that led to inventory buildup, lower household spending, and weaker final domestic demand indicate that the economy was battling on the domestic front. Economists have warned that as tariffs on Canada continue, this trend will persist. The gross domestic product in the first quarter grew by 2.2% on an annualized basis as compared with the downwardly revised 2.1% growth posted in the previous quarter, Statistics Canada said. This is the final economic indicator before the Bank of Canada's rates decision on Wednesday and will help determine whether the central bank will cut or stay put on rates. Currency swap markets increased their bets for a pause in rates to 82% after the data was released from 75% earlier. Benchmark interest rates are currently at 2.75%. Trump's repeated threats and flip-flops on tariffs since the beginning of the year led to an increase in exports and imports to and from the United States. Trump imposed tariffs on Canada in March, first on a slew of products and later specifically on steel and aluminium. The GDP grew by 0.1% in March after contraction of 0.2% in February. The economy is expected to expand by 0.1% in April, the statistics agency said, referring to a flash estimate. The March growth was primarily driven by a rebound in the mining, quarrying, and oil and gas extraction and construction sectors. Analysts, the quarterly GDP figure is calculated based on income and expenditure, while the monthly GDP is derived from the industrial output. The tariffs and the uncertainty around them started showing early signs of impact as the final domestic demand, which represents total final consumption, expenditures, and investment in the fixed capital, did not increase for the first time since the end of 2023, StatsCan said. Growth in household spending also slowed to 0.3% in the first quarter after rising 1.2% in the prior quarter. Motorists can expect some significant road closures in the downtown core this weekend to accommodate fundraising events. Both the Gardiner Expressway and the Don Valley Parkway will be closed on Sunday for the Bike for Brain Health event. The city says the 2 highways will be closed from 12:01 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the charity bike ride. All eastbound traffic on the Gardiner will exit onto Lakeshore Boulevard west at Humber River. The first annual We Walk United event will be held on Saturday, resulting in a number of road closures downtown. The following road closures will be in place from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. to accommodate the walk, which includes both 2-kilometer and 5-kilometer routes. Elizabeth Street will be closed from College Street to Dundas Street West, Dundas Street West will be closed from Bay Street to Bathurst Street. St. Patrick's Street will be closed from Dundas Street west to Elm Street. Elm Street will be closed from Murray Street to McCall Street. McCall Street will be closed from Baldwin Street to Dundas Street. Those who need to travel near road closures should plan their travel in advance, allow for the extra time, consider taking public transit or other travel methods such as walking or cycling, and following signage to keep everyone safe, the city said in a news release. Ontario is studying the idea of digging a massive tunnel under Highway 401, but one economist says there is a much simpler and proven way to reduce gridlock to Toronto charge drivers at peak road times. The only response to traffic congestion by which there is really any evidence is congestion pricing, said Matthew Turner, a professor of economics at Brown University and former University of Toronto professor. The problem is not road capacity, it's road capacity at peak times. Premier Doug Ford has promised to build a traffic tunnel spanning from Mississauga and Brampton in the west to Scarborough, Markham in the east, despite criticism from opposition leaders. A feasibility study on the idea is planned, and deadline for firms to participate in the formal requests for proposal process officially passed on Thursday. The government has previously said that the study won't be completed until 2027, but experts say no matter what the study finds, the fundamental problem isn't how many lanes exist, but rather when they are being used.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.